Welcome back to Cards and Comics, guys. Today is the first mail day of 2025, and I'm going to go through everything I've been getting in for the last month and a half. And I'll start here with two really cool cards, I guess you could call them that, but they're postcards from DC, and they are of Death from the Sandman universe. And the thing that's cool about these cards is, I love the fact that they grade cards like this, at least SGC well. And I'm thinking about having these graded because here's one, and then here is the other one. This is a really famous image that I love. The story behind this image is that I think Mike Drinkenberg is his name, the artist here. I think it may actually be on the back here. Sorry, Mark Buckingham. And Neil Gaiman, I guess they were, the story goes they were at a coffee shop and they saw this girl that looked like this, and that's who they based Death character on. And so this art here is supposedly to represent them at a coffee shop seeing the girl who's based on an actual person in real life that the artist knew. But anyway, it's sort of the story of like they saw her at the coffee shop, and she had this kind of like look to her, and that's who they based Death off of. So it's kind of like this is kind of like how this character started, right? The origin story, and I think that's kind of cool. So, yeah, and I'm actually going to look to maybe, because Death doesn't have a lot of cards to collect, but there are some really cool postcards and some oversized cards that I'm thinking about getting graded for my Death collection. So, those two were kind of fun to start. Other non-sports to start off is just a interesting flare card, this Doctor Strange. It's kind of an acetate, and I just picked it up. Cool looking set. The Marvel Flair cards are pretty undervalued in my opinion. And the other one is I've been collecting a lot of with DC coming back with cards again. There's been, I think, 2 Cryptozoic sets that's come out, and then obviously they're going to lose their license to Upper Deck. And so Upper Deck is getting ready to launch its annual, DC annual. So I've been seeing a lot of cards being dumped into the marketplace, and so I did get a cool Starfire here, and I can't really tell who the artist is, if anyone knows who that is, but yeah, like I think there is quite a few DC cards I've hit eBay the last couple of months that I've been able to get more Poison Ivy cards, and in fact I picked up a cool 3-card set numbered to 25 each. I'll show that set off in a little bit when I receive it, but that's one of the cooler sets that Cryptozoic issued, and I was able to snag it. And I haven't seen those cards available. In fact, two of the cards were for sale from that set, number 25, in the last month. So it just shows you, like, the cards are starting to pop up. All right, now on to football. So my only modern football card here. I picked this up at a comic book convention. I pick up cards sometimes at comic book conventions. This is Shedeur Sanders Press Pass. It's a refractor rookie card. These are numbered out of 4, so 3 or 4. I just picked it up because honestly, he may go high as a draft pick. He may not. I mean, I don't know like where he's projected. I think he's going to be one of the first quarterbacks taken. So there's going to be people speculating on this guy early on. And so it'll be a cool card to get and then maybe trade or sell it right around the draft time period. Next up is my only 90s football card I got in. I got in a cool, this is 98 Bowman's Best. Yeah, it's 98 Bowman's Best. This is the regular refractor. These are numbered to 400, just like the baseball. So you go, 400. And Bruce Smith. I like Bruce Smith a lot, being in New York and Buffalo. People still like him, Thurman Thomas, Jim Kelly, so a lot of people still interested in collecting their cards. This does have the print line going across here. Not, perfect, but it's still a cool card, number to 400. and very cheap. You know, like you can get these kind of cards for $10. Moving on to some 90s cool baseball. I've got this Blue Brock from 98 Retro. The cool thing about this card is the auto. So these were inserted because it has a whole, sign of the times, congratulations on the back. The cool thing about this card, in my opinion, is he's in an old timers uniform. Like he's playing in an old timers game because that's, old Blue Brock, kind of like playing in an old timers game. I don't know why they did that. I don't know if Upper Deck was doing this because they just thought it was funny, but it's like, why would you take Lou Brock and put him in an old timers uniform and give him auto? Because it's retro. Like it's not supposed to be like, hey, let's take modern day Lou Brock at 98 Lou Brock and put him in a set. It's supposed to be kind of a retro set, so it's kind of weird. But it's a Lou Brock auto. Next up is some other 90s cards. This one's kind of cool. I've been doing a lot of epics. I did a video on epics, and this card, the Jeff Bagwell, comes from the studio product I was talking about, where the Griffey's very tough to find because my theory on that is there's no one like that product, and so there's not a lot of it that's been open, and so just a lot of the epics cards don't exist, and so this is from that same so like one of the cards in that series. So I thought that was cool to pick up that season. Jeff Bagwell. A guy ran a ton of these, and I only picked up one of these. So a guy ran a lot of 98 Ultra Platinum medallions. I was able to get a Pirate, so I got Al Martin. And these are numbered out of 100. And these are the kind of I know 97 they had Platinums, but they're not as popular as 98. 98's kind of the OG. Everyone loves 98. 99 is cool, but everyone loves 98. 98 sort of the OG kind of the set that everyone wants to have, and so getting at least one card now from that set. I think this is my first 98 Platinum. I have a bunch of 99s, 2000s, and I have a 97 Griffey. I have a 99 Frank Thomas, but I do not have a 98 until now Al Martin. So I got a Pirate. There you go. Very cool. My first 98 Platinum medallion. These two cards are, I'm slowly building a set. Like I am a lot of 90s sets. I do slow burn, build some of these sets. But here are two cards from the 97 New Pinnacle Artist Proof set. We got a green here, Aura, Albert Bell. And you got the red Kendall, Jason Kendall. So, I'm just grabbing these cards when I see them. I mean, a lot of times you can get these cards for like $2 or $3. On Buy Nows, or just people like kind of run them and they don't really get any bids. It's just because, I just don't think people outside of Griffey and Thomas, a lot of times these cards go unseen or just kind of like unbid on. But I'm going to look at putting a set together. So for me, getting these cards at $2 or $3 a piece, or find them in dollar bins, is awesome. So, and they're amazing looking cards. They're really nice looking. All right, next up is a couple Thomas cards I picked up. The first one is really cool. I've never had one of these before. Now these are from 98 Ultra, right? 96 Ultra. And so they were exchange cards. So this set was interesting because they couldn't do the real card because I guess it was easy to tell in the pack, or maybe they couldn't get them in pack in time. But it's the Home Run King cards. So here is the Frank Thomas Home Run King card. That is the redemption. But when you feel this card, it feels like wood. It really does. And you can see it looks just like the card. So I don't know why they felt like they had to do a redemption, but you've got the exchange card. So I like the fact I've got the exchange card, and I also have the regular card, the one that you could get by exchanging in. So it's kind of like getting the pair, and that's pretty cool. So really cool card, really interesting card. And again, I don't have the Griffey version of this, so I'd love to get that. The next up is a card I actually have a Griffey of, and a Jeter, and this is the diamond cuts out of Showcase. So just a beautiful die cut card. they, like I said, the 90s, they did die cuts right. I mean, this card, you've got the foil, which looks like a diamond here. You got the green on the bottom. Just a really cool die cut. They just really knew how to make cards back in this time period. And I think this is, from 97, which is sort of, 97 is sort of like the, between 97 and 98, that was really pinnacle. Like you were getting just tons of great looking cards made. And 98, 99 are also great, but just, it's like 97 is where the crescendo, it's like everything kind of hit all at once. You have, credentials, I think in 97, you've got, PMGs, but not in baseball yet. I think 98 was the first time we had credentials. In baseball, we had them in other sports. But you had like embossed refractors. So it's just a lot of stuff was happening in 97. And this is just one of those really cool insert sets that honestly, you can pick these cards up raw, really inexpensive except for the Griffey for the most part. Now on to my Griffies. Now I'll give you an update here. I'm getting ready to hit a milestone with my Griffey collection. And I'll kind of talk about it when I go through the cards. So we'll go through a few cards first, and then when I get to these other cards, I'll kind of explain where I'm getting ready to hit. First up is another Epic. So this is a play. Orange. So I've got game and play. I'm getting close to having the 3 and the All-Star moment. So I'm pretty sure I'll have those 3 done this year. The seasons and the moments are going to be tough. But I think I'll be able to get a season set eventually. The moment set were all backdoored. So, because they were certified for Griffey. So, they will be tough because people hoard those and they know what they are. And so they know that they're pretty rare. So getting the actual real moments, the regular moment, Griffey's Epics cards are going to be tough. But I'm definitely going to get the play in the game. I already have game done. So this is getting my play set done. And then I'll get All-Star moments done this year as well. Now, next is a really cool card out of Finest. And I don't really know what they were doing here, but it's kind of a cool idea, but it just didn't. I think it paid off on this design, that it works, but it didn't work enough, I think, for them to keep going with it. And I'll talk about it in a minute, but it's called Power Zone from, I think, 98 Finest. And it was thought that they could use different color, this kind of ink that would change colors in the light. Now we're all saying like, well, that's a refractor, but no, that's not what this is. So I'm going to change it in the light and try to get it to do what it's supposed to do. And it's supposed to go from like purple to blue to pink. I think right there you can kind of see it changing color a little bit. But yeah, it'll and if I set it down or if I put it at certain angles, it will work. Like when I pull it up here, you kind of see it goes to pink a little bit, and it goes to blue, back to purple. And it's just sort of like this, how they printed the ink, right? But here's the problem is that it kind of works. If you put it at certain angles, it definitely gets more purple. If you put it at other angles, it gets more blue. It gets pink at different angles, like right there. You kind of see it change a little bit. All right, but it's just not dramatic. Like a refractor, which, or even something like this card, this reflective foil, it's like the effect is so immediate, right? Here, it's like you have to really hold it at, a certain angle to get any sort of color change that's dramatic. And so I forget what they call this printing technology, this ink technology, but it just didn't really work. And these were pretty tough inserts. I believe they were like, one or two, one in a box or like 1 and 2 boxes. So they weren't, the power zones were actually tough inserts, but they just really didn't do what I think Topps hoped they would do in terms of like how the execution did on the card. And so they kind of abandoned the technology. And I like the fact they tried, so I'm giving them an A for effort. Like they weren't just like saying, oh, we got refractors, we're just going to quit, innovating like they do today. It's like we're not going to do anything different than what we've been doing for the last couple of years. So like Panini, like is just like, oh, here's another here's another short print of the same kind of short prints we've already created. No, it's like they were trying something different, so I give them credit, but it just didn't really pan off. Now the back is kind of cool, how it's kind of shiny. Like I would love a guitar with that kind of shiny, like a guitar that was kind of painted that color. So it's interesting. It didn't fully work, but I give him an A for effort. Next up is a card. It's fairly old number for the time period. It is from 97. It is from Leaf, and it is the banner season. And it's just die cut. Nothing more than that, just die cut. But they are numbered 2500. So, it is die cut. It's just kind of like very plain, and it does have a matte finish. You can see that. So it's a matte finish, die cut, number 2500. So from that perspective, it's not just a total bland insert, but it's not that exciting. I mean, honestly, like something like this is kind of, I'd rather have this card just because it's trying to do something a little bit cooler than this. But hey, a lot of different stuff going on in the 90s. But number 2500, at least it's rare. Next up is just a weird set, and a set I've never really opened. And when I learned about it, I can kind of see why. It's from 1999. It's Top Stars. So 98, 97 Top Stars, very well documented. I've opened up product on my channel. 99 was direct to retail, so you couldn't just go and buy it at a store, or you had to go to a hobby shop, and they had different stars, so you could get a 1-star, 2-star, 3-star, 4-star card of different players. I believe the 4 stars may have even been numbered. They had different inserts that were different stars, so it's just like, it's tiered, it's weird. But the problem is, it's just like anything else like this, is the cards are just boring. You can see a little bit of a speckled finish there, but they're not shiny except for here. They just look really bland, honestly. And even some of the inserts that are well numbered are bland. Now there are some very low numbered inserts in this set. Cards some are around 100, I believe, or 99, but it's just they're really boring. And I think this set just kind of faced that whole, it's very boring. The 98 set, had like the Luminaries and the Galaxy cards, which are much more exciting than this card. So, and I think they did some of those sets, those inserts in 99, but they kind of, like sometimes, I think they put them as a subset. So they just kind of really screwed up. They really had something going on in 98 that I think they could have repeated with the insert, the rookie autograph reprints, and some of those really short print gold, silver, and bronze Luminaries and Galaxies, and they had kind of a thing going, and they broke it up and did these stars, and it just didn't make a lot of sense, and the design was just boring. So it's an interesting card, but kind of like 99 Top Stars is really not a fun set to look at, just visually. All right, now down to kind of the cards I want to talk about, because I had my first really big pickup of the year, thanks to my buddy Dwayne, and it's going to put me close to kind of a big milestone. Now, for people who maybe don't know, my collecting habits here is, for Griffey in the 90s, my focus has always been on the autographs from the 90s and the refractors. So my goal is to get every 90s autograph and every 90s refractor. That's sort of my goal. So I don't need the essential credentials. I'd love to have them, but I want to get the refractor. So here are some refractors I picked up recently. So here's the 97 mirror image, just the base refractor. This is kind of a bonus because you got Barry Bonds and Andrew Jones in the back. And of course, this card was inverted. So there's from a refractor standpoint, from the card itself, there's 6 versions. From a refractor, there's 4. So even though you can have 6 versions of this card, I'm only collecting 4 of them. So the inverted version is Griffey's a small photo and Jose Cruz Jr. is a big photo. And then there's the atomic refractor version of it as well. So there's the refractor, the atomic refractor like this, and then there's the inverted version. And I have 3 of the 4. So I just need the inverted atomic. So that's on my list for this year. They're not numbered. So there's a few of them for sale, but again, they're pretty rare. They're always been pretty rare. So I feel like the inverted atomic is a good card to pick up. It's pretty rare. So that's going to be on the list for me to get this year. But here is the regular refractor. So that's number 1. Number 2 is one of these double features. So you got, so on Finest in 99, you had these double features. So they had 2 sets that had this kind of like 2 players on the set. And the way it worked, it could be, there was 3 versions of the card. There was the left refractor, the right refractor, and double refractor. So for every card in this set, there's 3 refractors, which makes collecting it fun because you got to get 3 versions of the same exact card, just different parts of the card of refractor. Now, do I like this set? Yeah, it's okay. But I'm getting closer to have all 6 of them. So here's one of them. The thing that's cool about it is the back's completely refractor, no matter if the front's just half refractor. So kind of cool. So yeah, it's a really interesting thing. 99 Finest has a ton of Griffey refractors, just in general. And I'll show you another one here in a second. But this set, it's kind of like what blew up Griffey. Griffey has golds in the set, a bunch of numbered refractors. It's just this set has a lot going on. Okay. Here is another card that I picked up that I'm pretty happy. These 99 and 2000, because there's a 2000 Griffey refractor from Stadium Club Chrome that he's a Mariner as well. These are just insanely shiny. Like, from a refractor perspective, they are alpha and omega refractors. They are really nice. Love these cards. They're not numbered. I think they're like 1 per box or 2 per box or something like that. You don't get a ton of them. And again, there's like super chromes. Like they did like a jumbo version of this card, which is kind of cool. But this card is just, I have the 2000. I've never had the 99, so I was glad to pick up, even as an 8. But these cards are super slick, really nice looking refractors. So Topps really knew how to design refractors back then. And you can see the etching on this card. I mean, if you go down, right there, look at his body, you can see the etching right there. So it's just a great card. Somewhat more expensive than you think it's going to be, just because it's kind of like a weird set. Stadium Club Chrome isn't really something that people talk about as being one of the great sets of all time, but the refractors are very nice. All right, now down to my last card here, which is a major Griffey pickup for me. What I want to say is that I'm approaching like 100 unique Griffey refractors. I believe there's like 100 and what did I say? Like 100 and let's see. I have to go back and look, but there's like 130, I guess, something like that. Unique Griffey refractors that exist. And I'm getting close to having 100 different Griffey refractors from the 90s, which a lot of people wouldn't even guess there were that many Griffey refractors in the 90s. There's well over 100. And if you include the jumbos, there's even more. When I first put my set together, so I'm going to put the Griffey refractor sets together, or every Griffey refractor, I didn't include the jumbos. And I think there's like 7 jumbos. But if you take into account not only the parallels, like this card here, but there's a lot of insert refractors too in the 90s. So, there's over 100, and I'm getting close to having 100. In fact, this card here will make it my 93rd out of 93rd unique individual Griffey refractor, and I have a couple that are in the mail coming to me. So I'm getting close to like 95 or 96. So I'm getting close to 100. So when I get to 100, I am going to have a special video, showcasing my 100 unique Griffey refractors, because I think that's a cool milestone. I'm not sure how many other people have 100 unique Griffey refractors. I'm sure there's someone out there that has them all. I mean, I've just always assumed there's somebody more crazy than me that's trying to do this. But here's the one, and it's a really cool one. And my friend Dwayne, we worked out a deal. So it's from 99 Finest again, and it is the Prominent Figures numbered to 70. It's super shiny. It is a nice looking card. So these Prominent Figure cards, the way they worked was it's based on some sort of number, that either here, like this one's about pursuing McGuire's home run number. So I got 70 on here. And then the card will be numbered to that number. So you can see this card is number 66 out of 70. So, going into the Griffey lore, the Griffey lore, or 90s lore about cards is that anything number to 100 or below is worth a pretty huge multiplier. And that works really strong with Griffey. So if he's got a card numbered to 100 or below, it generally makes that card really expensive. If it's a refractor or an autograph, it even has a higher multiplier. So again, this is a great card. My friend Dwayne had this card. It's just not, I think, for him, it just wasn't flashy enough, or just, he wanted other cards more than this card. And if you're not trying to get every Griffey refractor, I can understand that. The gold refractors, the man refractors, even cards like this, the Allegiance refractor from 2000 is cooler. It's a cooler. They look cooler, I think. So this one's a little more basic looking, but it is numbered to 70, which means it's a really tough card. So I'm glad to knock off one of my remaining cards. So the remaining cards I need for my Griffey refractor set generally are numbered to 100 or below. The lowest card I need is the Bowman Chrome Gold Anniversary, numbered out of 5, which is kind of like just the card. I mean, there's no 101 I'm aware of, but that card's out of 5. So that's going to be the toughest one. And I just don't know if I'm going to be able to get it, but that would be the one card that will keep me from completing the set. There's some other cards numbered out of 50. There's, I need one more 99 Finest Gold. I need the Sterling Gold. I need the Man Refractor. I need this, there's just quite a few of the big refractors that I need still. A Centurion, I need that one. So it's just, Fortune 15. So there's some big ones left. So it's not like I'm sitting down telling you guys that this year I'm getting them all done. But I'm going to tell you is like I'm getting closer. There's probably 4 or 5 refractors I need that are just normal refractors, base refractors, like record numbers. I need the record numbers from 96, I believe. So they're not really hard to get. So there's 4 or 5 of those I need to get. So I'll be getting those this year. But yeah, I'm getting closer. Like it's, been a great journey. And I feel like, every one of these, even the ones that aren't super rare, like this card, I just love how they look. And then you got one that's super rare, like this card. And they're just fun to put them all together and see, like, look at these cards. Look, they're really cool. And they're part of a set I'm building. So let me know what you think in the comments. And hopefully when I get to my 100th Griffey refractor, I'll do a video. And let me know what you guys think about that. And I'll see you next time on Cards and Comics. Bye.